So earlier I compared the new Nvidia Vulkan driver versus my favorite driver 535.98. People asked me to compare it to the GOAT this year 528.02. So let's do it. So sit down, strap in, let's go. So before I get started with the video, please head over to my YouTube page. If you subscribe to this channel, please just make certain you got that notification bell selected so that when I do drop a new video, you will be notified. If you're not subscribed as of yet, and at the end of this video you enjoyed this content, please consider subscribing. But at that, let's get to it. So earlier, as you can see over here, I compared 532.17, the new Nvidia Vulkan driver, versus my previous favorite driver this year of 535.98. And people enjoyed that video, but they asked me to compare it to the driver. They asked me to compare all my drivers to 528.02. Great latency, great 1% lows, a solid driver. So at that, let's get to my results. So all my games were tested at medium settings. Where FSR 2.0 or 2.1 was available, I used a quality setting. With the exception of Returnal, my laptop severely underspec, so I used the low settings preset as well as FSR set to balance. And then I currently am playing Resident Evil 4 Remake, so instead of setting it to medium, the settings are complicated, so I've got a mixture of high, medium and low, and I just use that for my benchmarks. And then guys, I don't have any space for offline games. I only play single player games. I've got no space to install anything new at the moment, so all my games are tested playing offline, single player, third person, open world. Online, your results may vary a little bit. And then lastly, I own a GTX 1650 laptop. I've never owned an RTX card or RTX laptop, so your results may vary if you're on an RTX platform. But at that, let's get to the results. So as in my previous video, these are my results for the Vulkan driver, 532.17. When I add up all the average FPSs, I get to a total FPS count over 9 games of 652, which is pretty good. Divided by 9, and my average FPS per game is 72.44. And then when I add up all the 1% lows for that Vulkan driver, I get to a total FPS over 9 games of 503. Divided by 9, and my average 1% low for the Vulkan driver is 55.89, which is pretty decent. So when I divide the 1% lows by the average FPS, my stability for that for the latest Nvidia Vulkan driver is 77.15%, which is 0.02% off 535.98. So this Vulkan driver was a very good option. Then people asked me to compare it to the GOAT 528.02. And guys, I have changed my benchmarking method a little bit. I used to alt tab out of games to access River Tuner and switch on benchmarking and then quickly go back into the game. Now I'm just doing it via hotkey, so my results are a lot more accurate. And as you can see, I used to think 528.02 was the best, but I was slipping away. Not true. Now that my results are a lot more accurate, you'll see. Add up all the average FPSs, and then my total FPS over 9 games was 655. And I divide that by 9, and my average FPS per game was 72.78. So you can see a slight little uplift there. And then I do the same thing for the 1% lows, add up all the 1% lows, and then my total 1% lows over 9 games was 508. So a little bit higher, as you can see. And then when I divide that by 9, my average 1% low per game is 56.44 FPS. When I divide the 1% lows by the average FPS, my stability for this driver, the GOAT, is 77.55%, which is far and beyond the best result I've gotten this whole year. Guys, 528.02 doesn't have a DPS latency issue. It's got great latency, it's got great 1% lows, and it plays all the newest games. And in fact, I didn't add in The Last of Us into this benchmark, but after I finished my benchmark, just for interest sake, I actually loaded up The Last of Us, and The Last of Us actually performs better on 528.02 better than any other driver this year, which is pretty awesome. And then just to compare my results for my previous test, as you can see, 535.98 was my go-to driver because I don't play online games, I play offline games, so DPS latency hasn't been an issue for me. But this, you can see at the end of the whole rigmarole, my stability was 77.17%, which I thought was the best. Lo and behold, I test 528.02 on with my more accurate method, and I get the highest stability percentage that I've gotten this whole year. So at that, I think that's going to do the video for today. Guys, if you don't have 528.02 and you're interested in installing this driver, you can download it from the Nvidia drivers page. If it's not available, I will put a link to my Google Drive because I got that driver saved on my Google Drive. So don't worry, if it's not on the Nvidia drivers page, you can get off my Google Drive. Other than that, thank you for watching. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that like button. If you have any questions, please hit me up in the comment section. And as always, guys, if you're still watching and you haven't subscribed as of yet, now's the time to do so. And as always, it's people like you that make a difference. Cheers.